The first thing I think we have to decide is if we trust his health long term, um, and point out the obvious. He finally put a full season together. Now, when I say trust
Hmm.
his health long term, he necessarily hasn't been as big of a problem as some of the other Orioles prospects, uh, but he has been kind of plagued by just little knick-knack nagging things here and there, which may or may not be what's got his career off to kind of a rocky start. He did make 30 starts. He did throw 179 and two-thirds innings in 2016. Some mixed results, some really, really, really good, some poor. He just turned 26, which goes to show you how good he can be. He was the fourth overall pick, and it feels like part of the reason some people are down on him is because we've been waiting. It feels like forever for this kind of a year, a full season. He's a decent ground ball pitcher. He was 34th in the league in 2016. But more importantly, of those 34, he was top 10 in strikeout percentage at 23. Now, he's not an extreme enough ground ball pitcher to expect drastic improvements in his ERA, especially in Camden Yards, because he still serves up about 35% of his pitches through the air. But, like I said, his age, his pedigree, the fact that he's finally got a full season under his belt, there's room to think that the, uh, the ceiling that just went off in Ralph's house might be telling us Gausman's ceiling's higher. So what do you say?
Yeah, so with Gausman, I think you hit a lot of good points there. Uh, the things that are great about Gausman, as you said, he does get a decent amount of ground balls. For the contact thing, we'll get into a little bit of that. But he misses bats. He's got very good control. He's got two good fastballs that throw at a relatively high velocity. I think he can ramp it up to 97, usually works in the mid 90s. And the biggest thing is he has a great secondary offering that gets a ton of swing and misses. Go and check out some of the videos. I'm sure you could look up Kevin Gausman, split finger. Take a look at that splitter. That thing is nasty. I mean, it cuts in on righties. He can work away from lefties. He gets a ton of swing and misses on it. I mean, it's one of the better pitches in the major leagues. The problem with Gausman is he doesn't really have a great breaking pitch outside of that one, or a great third pitch. Throws a low 80s slider that's garbage. He gets it beat up a lot. But the big issue with him, more than anything else, and you touched on it a little bit, is home runs. He gets killed with homers. I mean, throughout his career, I think he's had close to 400 innings, if not more. And his home run per nine is 1.2. That's totally unacceptable. And the funny thing is, he gets slammed for home runs when he works with his fastball low in the zone. So he's actually somebody that if he elevated his fastball a little bit, I think he gets some more swings and misses and, sort of spotted and worked, all over the zone. And he has the control to be able to do that. Definitely has the command to be able to do that as well. So I think there's some adjustments that he could make just in terms of his approach, in terms of his pitch sequencing, that could really make a huge difference in terms of who Gausman could be. So he's still a good pitcher. He didn't have an awful year. I know in one of my points leagues, he's actually a guy that I'm contemplating a keeping. And I actually think I'm going to end up going forward, keeping him one of my 8 guys. And I think it's because, he can make those tweaks, and it's just a matter of pitchability more so than actual, throwing ability, because he has the sort of nasty setup in terms of velocity splits between his 3 pitches, a good secondary offering. It's just, maybe working that slide a little bit more for strikes or getting more out of his fastball, because the kind of movement and velocity that gets in his fastball, he really should be getting a lot more positive results from throwing it.
Yeah, I think the results are somewhat mixed on Gausman. I take the temperature of league mates that, you could tell based on owners, if you've been in a dynasty league, for instance, for a while, you start to get a sense of the owners that are shrewd and dumping guys before they bust or getting guys before they break out, et cetera, et cetera. One of the shrewdest owners that I know, what's up, Jacob? Great guy and owner of Gausman, and he's been movable. He's been on the block. So that kind of shows me just how mixed the feeling and opinion is on Gausman. He's right now being drafted around starting pitcher 37, which in a 12-team league, at 150, he's going in the mid 12th round. I guess that's fair value for him. There's a a lot of upside. He could creep into that top 30, maybe even top 20. His numbers are that good, or potentially that good.
Mm.
But I think he's probably right about where he should be, and probably where he'll finish the year. So he's not somebody I'm racing out to get. I think if he was in a different home ballpark, we'd probably both feel a lot differently about him.
Yeah, it's a
So
big part of it.
yeah, I think for me, for a guy like Gausman, it really depends on your team structure by the time he comes around in the draft to you. If you're lacking pitchers, he's pretty safe to feel like I can start him. He's not going to kill me, and
Yeah.
there's some upside there. But if you're set with pitchers, I'd probably look for a bat or a different pitcher with more upside over Gausman. That's just my personal feeling. You have anything you want to add on Gausman?
Yeah, and I think you said it. And other than Brendan Finnegan that we'll talk about, the three pitchers today, the reason I picked them is I thought they were all sort of similar, where they were guys with some ability, an elite pitch or two, young players that were top prospects coming in, from the draft, etc. And guys that have bad home setups. Obviously, Gray has Coors, Finnegan has Great American Ballpark, and then Gausman has Camden Yards. And Gausman's biggest flaw, like I said, is the home runs that he gives up. And certainly Camden Yards isn't helping anybody. But there's a lot of good stuff there. The elite swing and strike rate was almost 11% last year, came in at 10.8. The ground ball stuff, like you said, he's got good control. I think it's just, it's a matter of him making slight tweaks, and that makes him a guy that I'm willing to gamble on. But, I'm a hypocrite, too, because I actually sold him last week for James Paxton in a draft pick in one league. So
Well,
there
if
you
you go
go.
back, if you haven't seen it yet, and you go back and watch our James Paxton take, that might give you some clues as to why Ralph just made that trade.